The Dodgers now have taken the field, and let's set them defensively for you in left field. It is Dusty Baker. Over in center field, it'll be Rick Monday, the left-handed hitter with a right-hander on the mound tonight for New York. In right field, it'll be Reggie Smith, who'll have the sun problem more so than any of the other outfielders. On the left side of the infield at third base, Ron Cey. At shortstop for Los Angeles, Bill Russell. At second base, the pressure point, the trigger man for the Dodgers, Davey Lopes, the leadoff man. At first base, the steady one, Steve Garvey. Behind the plate, a young man who was battered some in Yankee Stadium the other night but says he feels good today, Steve Yeager. And on the mound, the sinker ball left-hander Tommy John, who desperately hopes that Larry McCoy, who is the umpire behind the plate tonight, remembers him from the American League. Now, offensively for the New York Yankees, Mickey Rivers will lead off. He's 0 for 10 in the series. Willie Randolph batting second, Thurman Munson catching, hitting third. In right field, hitting cleanup, Reggie Jackson. Lou Piniella is batting fifth. Chris Chambliss, the first baseman, is hitting sixth. Greg Nettles batting seventh. Bucky Dent, the shortstop, eighth. And Mike Torres, the pitcher, will be hitting ninth. The designated hitter is not being used this year. It's used on alternating years. The umpires, Larry McCoy of the American League behind the plate, Jerry Dale of the National League at first, Jim Evans, American League at second, John McSherry, National League at third. Down the left field line, Nestor Shilak of the American League. In the right field line, it's Ed Sudol of the National League. Mickey Rivers is in, the first pitch of the ball game. It is a breaking pitch, and it is high. If Tommy John has it below the belt buckle all night, he'll be a very tough fellow to handle. Rivers pulls it. It is a looper. It is over Garvey's head, and Rivers is on and going for two. And he goes in at second base with a loop double down the right field line. First hit for Mickey Rivers in the series.
Keith, that's what's going to make this Yankee team go, is that little man, number 17. A little blooper over first base, and he gets a double. He's the guy that's going to make this Yankee team score. Not only do the other left-handers have to hit, Jackson and Nettles and Chambliss, that little guy's got to get on, lead off the ball game.
Willie Randolph, the second baseman, shortens a little bit, looks at it, and takes it for ball one. Willie Randolph has scored 4 of the 5 runs the Yankees have scored in the 2 games played in the World Series of '77. Rivers off second. It's on the corner for strike one. There is Mickey Rivers, and he had a big lead on that last pitch.
What Randolph's trying to do here, Keith, of course, hit the ball to the right side. You want to get Rivers over to third base with 1 out. You get at least a run in the first inning with a sacrifice fly. There it is.
To Davey Lopes at second, Rivers to third easily, Lopes to Garvey to retire Randolph. You've got Rivers at third with 1 out.
That's very good baseball.
You're hitting
on second base.
You're hitting on the button, Tom. You'll remember that's what the Yankees were having trouble doing in the late innings of the first game, which they did ultimately win in the 12th. They couldn't advance the runners. Immediately here, Willie did. Willie's a fine all-around athlete.
Thurman Munson stands 3 for 8 with 1 run batted in the World Series so far, and involved in the latest thunder and lightning out of the Yankee camp. Rivers so quick at third. Fly ball can get him home. Obviously a base hit can. Munson takes it, just misses. Ball 1. The captain of the Yankees had an even 100 runs batted in this year. He had 18 home runs. He hits it down the right field line. It's a fair ball. It's going to the corner. Mickey Rivers walks home. Thurman Munson digging for second. The throw by Smith. And he's in there. It's a double for Munson. And so the New York Yankees get on the board early as Rivers singles down the right field line. And then Thurman Munson doubles into the corner.
Right fielder, Reggie Jackson.
We talked about it earlier, Keith. You know, in New York, their first couple of games, there's the guy's a different type of hitter, much more aggressive hitter with a man at second base, a man at third base. That's his, you know, that's where he makes his money. Man at third base and 1 out. He knows all he needs is a sacrifice fly. Fly ball is going to get him a run. He can do the job.
Reggie Jackson swings and misses for strike one.
Now here's a man who met with me today for about a half an hour, and a complex, sensitive man is feeling the fact that he is the heat, the center of controversy, and he stood up in front of me and he went through a series of mock swings, and he said, the pressure is never ending. I've got to hit this guy. My only hope is I'm a low ball hitter. He's got a sinker because he's got everything else to stop a hitter like me. He's a very candid, introspective man when he wants to be, Reggie is.
One strike pitch is inside. It's 1-1 with Thurman Munson at second base. Mickey Rivers has scored. He led off with a single. Randolph advanced him around. Munson doubled him home. You'd say single. He had a double, didn't he?
Martin was quoted yesterday as saying Jackson better get 2 hits tomorrow. At the press conference, somebody asked Paul, what if he doesn't get 2?
Jackson hits it to left field. It'll drop for a base hit. Munson coming around third. Dusty Baker overruns the ball in left field, and Reggie Jackson goes standing at second base, and the Yankees lead it 2-0.
He already has one of the 2.
Reggie punched his ball to left field, kind of inside out. It hit behind the ball again, like a slider, and just punched it into left field. Dusty, trying to make a play at the plate, I think, overran the ball and really didn't have much of a chance. And in air, Reggie went right into second base.
So you have 2 doubles. You have a single and an error on Dusty Baker in left field. You have 2 runs home, 1 out. Reggie Jackson in scoring position for Lou Piniella. Lou Piniella 3 for 8 in the series so far without a run batted in.
You know what I like more than anything, Keith, is that now here comes Mickey, gets a base hit and didn't stop at first base. I mean, he was going to second base right away, going for a double to lead off the ball game. They're playing aggressive baseball in the first inning. Something that really they had every right not to do, to sit back on their laurels amongst all the controversy or whatever, or maybe if they want to roll over and die. Here they are, they're coming out and they're being very aggressive.
Count is 1-1 on Lou Piniella. Jackson off second. Ball is hit on the ground toward the third baseman, Say. Now kicks well foul, and is picked up and thrown out by Dick Hauser. Bobby Cox is over at first coaching for the New York Yankees, and already we have action in the Los Angeles bullpen as Elias Sosa is up and throwing. First error in the World Series of '77 by Dusty Baker. He just simply overran the ball, figuring he had to charge it to have a shot at Munson at home plate. He might have had a throw on the turn. Ball is hit on the ground up the middle. It's through there for a base hit. Jackson will turn and head for home. Mundy picks it up and lobs it back in, and Jackson gives the Yankees a 3-0 lead.
So if the controversy was to impair their play, it certainly hasn't shown that way so far. It has clearly spurred them. And Bill White's remarks in the pregame show were precisely to that effect. Let's look at the base hit again.
Slider right up the middle. Reggie, of course, on second looking back at the ball. And you know who was the first guy to greet Reggie when he got to the dugout? I followed him in over there. Billy Martin.
So Tommy John being peppered here in the top of the first inning as the Yankees have scored 3 times on 4 base hits. 2 doubles, 2 singles, and an error. And Chris Chambliss stands in 1 for 9 with 1 run batted in. The last 2 hitters have jumped on 1 and 2 pitches. Chambliss fouls it away. Charlie Huff now has joined Elias Sosa in the Dodger bullpen as Chambliss foul tips it for strike 2. Could it be, Tom Seaver, that Tommy John might have been a little too deliberate in getting started?
Very possible. Might be trying to be too fine, with his pitches instead of being aggressive on the mound. Made good pitches to Chambliss, struck him out with a slider.
That's 2 out. And the batter now will be Greg Nettles, the Yankee third baseman. 3-0 New York on 4 hits and a Dodger error. It's still bright daylight here at Chavez Ravine, just a few moments away from downtown Los Angeles. It's been a warm, sort of muggy day, and the pitch is outside the Nettles for ball 1.
A lot of smog in your town.
Good. Maybe that'll discourage anybody else from coming.
Keep everybody else out.
Checks on it. A ball 2. So Rivers loops it down Quayle down the right field line, legs it for 2, and from that point on, John has been struggling as the Yankees have jumped on him for 3 runs, and Nettles takes a strike. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out, and Lou Piniella on first base for New York. Piniella goes. The ball is hit on the ground to Davy Lopes, and he throws Nettles out to win the inning. But 2 doubles, 2 singles, and an error, and the Yankees break on top 3-0. The Yankee catcher and captain Thurman Munson has also been involved in recent controversy. Earlier, Howard Cosell talked with him about his future.
Thurman, are there any circumstances under which you would play in New York next year?
Well, Howard, I've said it before. I just had a few bad dealings, with the owners early in spring training. I had one player that who kind of wrote a 5-page article about me and ripped me pretty good, and I just haven't been able to live anything down. I've really been embarrassed all year. I've heard it from the fans. My family's heard it, and it's just one thing that I love my family. I love my children. I just kind of want to be home in Ohio. And at this point, it's just too bad for the New York people, because I do love New York. I do love to play baseball there, but I just want to go home.
Some earlier comments of Thurman Munson, the Yankee catcher. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, Davy Lopes leads it off. Bill Russell bats second. Reggie Smith hits third. Ron Say, the cleanup man. Steve Garvey batting 5th. Dusty Baker hitting 6th. Rick Mundy in the number 7 position. Steve Yeager, the catcher, 8th. And Tommy John, the pitcher, in the number 9 position. The Yankee defense lines up this way. Lou Piniella in left. Mickey Rivers in center. Reggie Jackson in right. Greg Nettles at 3rd, Bucky Dent at short, Willie Randolph at 2nd, Chris Chambliss at 1st, Munson doing the catching, and on the mound for the New York Yankees tonight, Mike Torres. And some comments on Mike Torres from Tom Seaver.
Well, Mike's a sinker slider pitcher, of course, pitching in the National League with several ball clubs, Montreal. He's got to have good control to win. He can be powerful inside at times, Keith. Good hard fastball, sinking fastball inside, but he's got a good slider. Keep the ball down, keep the ball away from his right-hand hitters. He's going to have to keep away from the Dodgers' big 3 of Say, Garvey, and Russell. Say, Garvey, and, Baker.
He was brilliant in that 5th game.
He was outstanding. He's the reason that the Yankees won. He was outstanding against Kansas City.
5 1/3, 3 hits and no runs. Struck out 4 and walked 3, and his first pitch is a strike to Davy Lopes. Mike's been talking about going to Boston. Read all kinds of stuff about that this morning, as a matter of fact. Ball 1, the pitch is high. He's going to the open market at the end of the season to see where his future might be in baseball. 1-1. 1-2. Billy Martin sitting in the Yankee dugout.
A legged little fellow.
Had a busy day, didn't he? Lopes pops it up, coming back. It is out of play. On the other side, Tommy Lasorda, who is now much more concerned with the state of affairs than he was before the first pitch. His team is down 3-0. Mike Torres throwing hard, just misses outside. It's 2-2. Mike is outside with the fastball, and it's ball at 3-2. As the ball comes up above the stadium, if it should be hit high in the air, still will be trouble for the outfielders against the high sky. Torres, after getting out in front on Lopes, loses him as he walks him.
Batting second. Number 18, shortstop.
The Dodgers' top base runner, Davy Lopes, is on, and Billy Russell, who only struck out 43 times in 634 at-bats in 1977, is at the plate. Davy may look at Mike a couple of pitches. And Torres goes to first to hold it.
That's a huge lead at first base. He's really off there. It could be a one-way lead. Sometimes a runner will take a one-way lead just to get out there, see what a pitcher's move is going to be like to first base. He may want to go. He may want to try to get this Dodger offense going right away, right in the bottom of the first inning. He, like Mickey Rivers, is a spark plug for his own team.
That's sort of been the nature of the ball club. If they get behind early, it is go out and charge, get something happening if they can get this fellow on.
3 runs down, Tom. Send him against the percentages.
Definitely against it.
There he goes. The throw by Munson. He's safe.
They're going to try and make him go. They're going to try and liven up their own dugout. They want to, they gave up 3 runs here. There he goes to second base. He had a huge lead off of first base. That little man can get from first to second, I'll tell you that, and he was safe.
And that's the kind of manager Lasorda is. Here's another view of it.
He wasn't looking anywhere, was he, except at that.
He wanted to go. I think Lasorda and Parks and also Davey, they want to get the offense going. They gave up 3 runs, and they want to get them right back.
All right, now, Russell with 1 strike on him. Lopes off second. Big lead off second. And the pitch is inside. That's the first stolen base for Los Angeles. They have been caught in 3 previous tries by Thurman Munson.
We haven't had too much running yet, Keith, in the World Series, have we?
Nope.
Randolph ran in to cool Torres down just a touch. Mike very much aware of Lopes behind him, but the big lead off second.
Russell pulls away from the pitch and fouls it into the dugout. And so it's 1-2. And Tommy John, who had a rocky first inning, waiting in the dugout. Yankees jumped on him for 4 hits, 3 runs. There was 1 Dodger error. Bottom of the first inning. Davy Lopes off second base. Russell hits it foul to the right side and in the crowd.
Bill trying to do what Willie Randolph did. Hit to the right side. Hopeful of getting a hit in that direction, but in any event, advancing the runner.
Try and get at least 1 run out of the inning. Now with 2 strikes, he's got to be defensive at the plate.
Called him out on a pitch on the inside corner.
Breaking ball, curveball on the inside part of the plate. I think it fooled Billy. Obviously, he's jumping back. Here it is again.
Right fielder.
This is a fine pitcher's pitch. You can see Thurman setting up outside. Probably wanted the pitch out there. Breaking ball on the inside part of the plate.
And so you've got 1 out with Davy Lopes still at second base. And here is Reggie Smith, who hit a monstrous home run in New York on Wednesday night. Pulls it foul to the right side. A free swinger from the left side, hit 27 of his 32 home runs left-handed this year. Three-0 Yankees as Torres checks. Lopes at second. Smith rolls it on the ground. Davy Lopes breaks. They'll take a turn at third. Throw across in time to get Reggie Smith on a check swing roller. Softly to the infield, and it's interesting that Greg Nettles is flexing his arm as he comes back to his position.
Keith, I talked to Greg before the game, and he still does have some stiffness in his arm. It really has been bothering him, and it's been bothering him with his bat as well. He says it really doesn't, it's not as troublesome throwing the ball as it is swinging the bat. It's a bottom hand when he is at the plate, and he has trouble getting the bottom hand through, and as a result, he's hitting a lot with his top hand, hitting the ball on the ground instead of the air, and he's a fly ball hitter.
Ron Say, 1 for 7, a home run, 3 runs batted in the series. 2 out now. Lopes at third. Pitch low. The stadium is filled now. Looks as if every seat is taken. Say checks on it, and it is low. Ball 2. The outfield is well back for Lonnie. We've had 17 homers, as you see, with runners on this year. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes. Steve Garvey is on deck. You can see the outfield is well back. Vanilla at left, Rivers and over toward left center. There's a strike to make it 3-1. If there is a gap, and there's not much, they're almost straight away in the outfield. The gap would be the right field line or in right center. Ball 4.
One can almost hear the late Frank Frisch saying, "Oh, those bases on balls." Garvey in the first inning represents the tying run. He is the most consistent hitter. And Torres has made trouble for himself.
Garvey 3 for 8 in 2 games. Had a home run off Sparky Lyle in New York. Strike. Former defensive back from Michigan State. Swings, the ball bounced over the pitcher's head. Randolph at second, and the Dodgers are gone without answering back to the Yankees. Lopes gets aboard. They get him to third, but can't count him. And after 1 inning of play, the Yankees lead it 3-0. For the Yankees, in the top of the second inning, the shortstop Bucky Dent, the pitcher Mike Torres, and the leadoff man Mickey Rivers. In game number 1, the Yankees 4-3 with Sparky Lyle getting the decision over Rick Rhoden, both in relief. Game 2, the Dodgers 6-1 with Houghton beating Hunter. And now for New York. Bucky Dent up for the first time tonight, 3 for 7 in the series. Tommy John, peppered for 4 hits and 3 runs.
You'll see this a lot tonight, Keith. The balls that come up there and hit down in the dirt right around home plate. That area right around home plate is 96% clay, and it's awfully red. The ball hits in there, and the balls will get red on the side where they make contact with the ground, and there'll be a lot of balls thrown out of the ball game.
On the corner for a strike. It's 1-1. When the Phillies were here, the dirt was very loose in front of home plate. Umpires came out, had a look after the Phillies squawked. Sure enough, made them shovel it up.
Well, certain ballparks, they'll tailor their ball fields to suit their teams. They'll tamp that area in front of home plate. They'll loosen it up. They'll make it fair. That's a foul ball. They hit the runner in the batter's
That's
box.
what George Lomas, Tom, the groundskeeper at Kansas City, is always accused of doing. One of the very best at it. Last year, before the Yankee-Kansas City playoffs, there was a lot of talk about the mound being too high to suit Catfish Hunter, who was pitching the game opener. So we did our pregame show with Lomas as he sought to prove he did not tamper with it.
That's right, I remember.
George Toma. Did I say Lomas? Forgive me.
2-2, and Bucky Dent fouls it away.
You have a ball club that gets a lot of balls into the ground and guys that can really run, like the Philadelphia club, let's say, McBride and Maddox and all those people. You make that area hard in front of home plate, you get a lot of high choppers. Like that one right there, you got a chance to get a lot of infield hits.
Say to Garvey, 1 gone. I'll guarantee you when Maury Wills was playing here with a hard infield.
Remember when they went to one World Series, where was it? They went and they right in front of first base, and Maury Wills, they made it all wet and watery so he couldn't steal the bases.
That went
the
out a lot.
Giants or somebody? That's tampering with the field, isn't it?
Mike Torres, a robust career batting average and a hefty swing for a pitcher for strike one. Two strikes on Mike Torres. He's trying to bunt. Pitch was way off the plate, and Larry McCoy called him out.
Must have been a trick play. I don't know. I talked to Mike. He said he had about 5 home runs in the seats yesterday in batting practice. Bunny
big
now
enough.
with 2 strikes.
Yeah. Mickey Rivers coming to the plate. For those in the pregame, you might have seen Sally and Tommy John, tonight's starting pitcher for the Dodgers, reminiscing and talking about what the last few months in their young lives have meant to them after it appeared that Tommy's career was all over. Suddenly, here he is, 20-7, a Cy Young candidate, and pitching in the World Series. They live just down the road in Orange County. Rivers hitting 107. Came up with a double to lead the ball game and scored the first run of the game. The Yankees lead by a score of 3-0.
Sudden smile flashed across his face there.
With 2 out and nobody on, John is just low. Ron Say, as he did in the second game in New York, has come right in on the grass looking right at Mickey Rivers. Pulled, and it's down the line again. It should go easily for 2 bases for the speedster Rivers. Reggie Smith boxes it around a little bit down the line before he can get it back, and Mickey Rivers now with back-to-back doubles.
Dodger fans are seeing the Mickey Rivers, who had 326 on the year, who was terrific over the last 6 weeks of the season, and who, as we mentioned earlier, excelled so during the Kansas City playoff series. When he's hot, he is hot. He's terrific.
You talk about, beating the percentages in New York. He went against 2 right-hand pitchers. He was 0 for 10. He's just a left-hander here. He's 2 for 2 and 2 doubles.
And when he's hot, of course, he hits anybody. Lefties have never bothered him that much.
Willie Randolph, who grounded to the second baseman first time up, takes the pitch low. This program, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Swing and a miss by Randolph. Snap throw through, not in time. Rivers back. Yeager will shoot at you.
He's got the artillery to get at you. I know that. He's got a fine arm. Good, strong, accurate arm.
A 1-ball, 1-strike count on the batter, Randolph. The Yankees getting 3 runs on 4 hits and an error in the top of the first inning. At bat now, in the second inning, Rivers has just doubled, 2 out, and John has just hit the target for strike 2 against Willie Randolph. Rivers off second. 1-2 pitch to Randolph. Just low. Two-two to Randolph. Outside. Pull 3-2 with 2 out, and Mickey Rivers at second base.
He doesn't want to walk this guy, Keith. There's Tom Lasorda in the Dodger dugout. Certainly doesn't want to walk him, the man on deck, Thurman Munson.
Nor does he want any more runs to score.
No.
Which is imperative
This
here.
is a big pitch.
Try to get him. He lost him. That's the first walk issued by Tommy John. And now here's trouble. With Mickey Rivers at second base, Thurman Munson, who doubled in the first inning, is walking up. You can see 4 for 9. He's been swinging a tough bat.
Troubled fellow. Tom and I spent a lot of time with Thurman today, and he's really disturbed, and he was very outspoken in that interview about his desire to leave. Yet, somehow, it never affects his play. This is truly superb competitor.
Charlie Huff is in the Los Angeles bullpen. Tommy John struggling. 2 on, 2 out. Munson swings and misses. Strike 1.
That was one of Tommy's better pitches that he's thrown thus far this game.
That's what makes him effective.
Turn that over beautifully.
When the hitters swing at that ball that's out of the strike zone low, that's when he is effective.
That's 2.
That ball gets up to the plate, just kind of sinks out of the strike zone. It looks good. By the time you get your bat to it, it's not there anymore. Sinks out of the strike zone. Mickey Rivers, of course, second base. Willie Randolph at first.
A 2-strike count on Thurman Munson. 2 out and 2 on. Struck him out. So Tommy John appearing to loosen up a little more. Strikes out Munson despite a Yankee threat, but Yankees lead it 3-0. Reflecting on how New York assumed its 3-0 lead, you can see Rivers doubled, followed by Munson's double, Jackson single, Pinella single. In between there is an error by Dusty Baker, and it's 3-0 New York, with the Los Angeles Dodgers coming up in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And you can see it is a warm evening. We've been able to shuck the coats, sit comfortably here in the middle of October. A little over 80 degrees today, and it was 78 degrees at game time, and the flag is literally limp in center field. The dimensions of this ballpark: 330 down each line, 370 up the alleys, up to 385, and then 395 straight away center field. Mike Torres will pitch to Dusty Baker, Rick Bundy, Steve Yeager. Dusty Baker, a remarkable story himself. In 1977, takes strike 1. He was a potential free agent until he signed a new 3-year contract on June 15, his 28th birthday. Foul out of play.
This big fella can look sinister when peering down at you on the mound.
Hits it up the middle for a base hit. So the Dodgers get the leadoff man aboard, and Dusty Baker as Rivers comes in to hurry it back.
Torres had an interesting season, Tommy. You remember the Yanks got him in that Doc Ellis trade. He had won 4 for the A's, and he did very little for the Yankees upon first being acquired. And then when the games became key and the Yankee pitching staff was faltering, Torres, for a period of 6 weeks, became the bellwether, pitching complete game after complete game, 5 in a row, I believe. So he became a signally important figure to their pennant drive.
Rick Mundy, the batter for Los Angeles, with Dusty Baker off first, and the pitch is inside to him. Mundy's left ankle and foot heavily taped. Now, remember, he was hobbled a little bit as he was caught the other night in New York, but he had actually hurt the foot going from first over to third. And it's inside on the letters for ball 2. This is also the same foot and ankle where he's had some Achilles trouble in the past. So it's been sort of a painful year for Rick Mundy.
He really put on some exhibition yesterday, Keith, out here in batting practice. He was hitting them up in the orange seats down there. He hit one up almost the top of the screen of the foul pole down the right field line. He really hit a monster. There's Tommy John in the Dodger dugout. He had a better inning last inning, pitching to Thurman Munson. He looked awfully good. Maybe he's got it. Could be a little nervous that first inning, too. You never know. World Series time.
Dusty Baker edges off first. Nobody out. The pitch to Mundy is strike ball. That gets a little conversation from Mundy out of Larry McCoy as the count is now 2-2. Remember, that's an American League umpire back of the plate. Might be a little more low-ball minded if he'd stand around and visit with these National Leaguers for a while, but he certainly gave Torres a pitch right on the knees that time.
Well, you notice he's worn his chest protector inside. I don't really know how many guys in the American League do that. Most of them have outside protectors. And all the National League umpires, of course, wear their chest protectors inside. It's unusual to see an American. There it is, a close-up of it. American League umpire. It's unusual.
3-2 pitches swung on and foul tipped into Thurman's glove for strike 3. So Rick Mundy is out. 1 out. And the batter will be Steve Yeager, who has 2 hits and 7 trips. He had a home run in the second game at Yankee Stadium. The second of 3 home runs hit off Jim Hunter. Tommy John is coming out of the dugout and will go to the on-deck circle with 1 out. and Baker on first. Torres has a look at him. There's John. The pitch to Yeager. It's hit off the hands down the right field line. It's going to fall in there for a base hit. Baker turns second, and he's going to third, and Yeager pumps into second with a double. Standing. He just sort of shoveled that thing over into right field.
Caught it off, hit it down the right field line. Big, strong guy hitting a little pop right on the right field line, getting a double out of it.
Inside out, you said.
Inside out is the terminology.
Remember when the Dodgers first came out here? They had the man who perfected the art. They played in the old Coliseum. They had that extremely short left field porch as the consultation on the mound takes place, the first one the Yankees have had. The man's name was Wally Moon. He cleaned up out there. He's a professor now, college at Arkansas.
Is that right?
Right.
Wally Moon is?
Dusty Baker running the bases, saw the ball was going to drop. You see him looking back at the ball. He held up for just a moment. Otherwise, he might have been tempted if he kept going full tilt. But he turned the steam on. Then he began to look at Preston Gomez, coaching at third. Took his turn at third and then held. And so the Dodgers now, with one out, have base runners at second and third. And the batter is Tommy John, who has hit in 11 of his starts this year. Fouls that one off. He is not a free out at the plate. He had his first National League home run August 8th against Cincinnati. And I'm sure Tom Seaver remembers that when he pitched a 2-hit 4-0 shot.
A very big blow. Seaver watched an open-ended.
Open-ended is right.
Fouled off into the crowd for strike two.
Now, he can help himself here now. You get a pitcher that can feel his position, who can bunt, who can get a sacrifice fly. Tommy's up there with a man on third and one out. If he can get a sacrifice fly, he gets a run in. He makes an out here, and you need a base hit or a pass ball or a wild pitch or something to score a run.
Struck him out, throw to third, and Baker is back. That's two out. So the two outs of the inning have been strikeouts by Mike Torres, and we'll go back now to the top of the order for Davy Lopes. Four decks at Dodger Stadium. Dusk now beginning to settle in, making the job for the outfielders much easier.
Torres is asking Billy Martin if he wants him to stretch or wind up.
Lopes fouls it away for strike one. Torres is quick tonight. Baker at third. Yeager at second. Two strikes on Davy Lopes with two outs.
High ball league umpire, right, Tom?
It didn't look like
He's
Yeager
giving them every
that.
low ball call tonight.
He's got a big strike zone tonight.
Outside, Thurman Munson put the target a little bit off the plate. Torres went right through it, but Mike missed it by a couple of inches.
Good two-strike pitch. You get reputations for umpires. He's got a big strike zone. He's got a wide strike zone.
Ball is hit high in the air, and it is foul. Bounced high in the air.
You get a pitcher or get an umpire that has a big strike zone. It looks like you've got a big strike zone tonight. You'll get guys coming back to the bench. They go up swinging, guys. Everything's a strike.
Big Mac ready at 1-2, facing Davy Lopes, and little Davy steps out.
I don't mind those big strike zones. I find them rather agreeable.
Your age, you need them.
Baker off third, Yeager off second, pitch to Lopes, high.
You really see Thurman moving around back there. He moved way inside on Tommy John with two strikes. He's moved outside on these pitches to Davy Lopes. He's really giving Torres a good target, really showing him where he wants to throw the ball.
Mike taking a lot of time, and Lopes takes a walk. and Billy Martin is pacing.
Martin is angry. He wanted that last call.
Might be, considering all things, looking a gift horse in the mouth at the moment, though, considering a couple of the low pitches. Foul straight back.
Mike is perspiring freely.
Outside of Guidry might be the healthiest of all the Yankee pitchers right now. Lopes hits it on the right side. Chambliss makes a good play on it.
Good play.
Good
Torres
play.
covers it.
Good
So,
play all around, Keith. Beautiful coverage by Torres.
Yankees turn the Dodgers away and continue to lead after 2 innings of play, 3-0.
Bing Crosby died today, the beloved American, the great crooner, playing golf in Spain, the game he loved along with baseball. So ABC News will have a special tonight called Bing Crosby a Memorial. Half hour after the game, following local news in all of the time zones. And right there, old Blue Eyes, who happened to have been one of Bing Crosby's very closest friends. All through the years, did movies together, sang together, appeared together. It's hard to believe that the Bing is gone. He was a positive American institution.
Yes, he was. Tomorrow's game indicating there that it starts at 1 o'clock Western time, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Doug Rao for the Dodgers against Ron Guidry of the Yankees. I sort of thought that he might delay on that decision depending on what happened tonight.
He still may.
That's right. Reggie Jackson, Lou Piniella, and Chris Chambliss are the Yankee hitters now. Reggie had a single in his first time up. That's a foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Yankee right fielder.
Reggie's gotten a lot of knocks this year. He's gotten a lot of boosts, too. But the thing about this man, at least at the plate, is he responds to crisis. He responds to challenge, as he did in the first inning today.
1-1 pitch from Tommy John. Low, it's ball 2. Yankees lead 3-0. Two fellows there that we haven't seen much of, Roy White and Fred Stanley. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. So Tommy John, TJ from Indiana State University, where he met his pretty wife Sally, out there on the mound trying to get himself righted, down by 3 runs. Got him.
A lot sharper, Keith.
He is. He looks commanding. Ever
He's
since
really
he
settled down. Good inside sinker. Reggie right over the top of it. For Tommy to be effective, he has to have good control. As you know, he's not an overpowering pitcher. Got a good sinker, a good slider. He'll throw a curveball, throw a changeup. And he's got to get his breaking ball over. He's got to be ahead of his hitters. He's got to pitch with a 1-2 count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, no balls, 1 strike. And he has to get the ball down in the strike zone to be effective. If he does that, he is tough.
Lou Piniella moved up to the number 5 position in the batting order tonight. Pitch bounces at the plate and strikes Lou on the leg lightly. He trots on down to first base, and Tommy John walked off the mound shaking his hand as if he might have hurt a fingernail or something. The ball just dove in at the feet of Lou Piniella, and Lou took a jump. The ball was a breaking pitch.
Something certainly happened there, Keith. Sometimes you get a baseball with big seams on it, and a pitcher will build up calluses on his fingers and end of his fingers and on his thumb. And sometimes you get a big seam or the big threads, and you can come off and you can irritate those calluses.
Chris Chambliss, late takes low for ball 1 with Piniella on first and 1 out.
You mean the different baseballs have different size seams or protrusions of seams?
Exactly.
Manufacturing deficiency.
Possibly.
There's a strike.
Some of them are small. Some baseballs are small. You get some are big. Some have big seams. It's all in the professional touch, Howard. We professionals.
Of course.
On the mound.
Feel them. That's right.
1-1 pitch. Low. 2-1 to Chambliss. The Yankees do not run on their own. Billy Martin wants to know where they are or what they're doing, and when he wants somebody running, he sends him. Time call, no pitch as Chris steps out.
Chambliss is normally one of the steadiest of Yankee hitters, but he has been in deep trouble recently, and he's not swinging well, is he, Tom?
Sharply to Garvey. Go to second for one. Back to first. Double play. 3-6-3 double play. That is the second of those the Dodgers have pulled off. They had one the other night in Yankee Stadium that killed a possible Yankee challenge. Score remains 3-0 New York. Another look at the toughest double play in all of baseball, 3-6-3. They had one the other night to kill a Yankee challenge, and Garvey starts another one tonight. As Russell is on the bag, did not get all that much on the return throw to first base. Garvey will take the long stretch for it. A little bit off target and just barely there. Close play at first.
Did get him.
What'd you say, Tom?
He did get him. He looked out to me when I first looked at it. He looked safe. You see that replay, and he was out.
So, Steve Garvey is in the dugout, waiting a chance he hopes to come to the plate. But right now, Mike Torres, who has been dominant in the game, will face Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, and Ron Cey. Russell caught looking his first time up tonight. Nettles comes up even with a bag almost on the pitch at third base.
Last inning was John's easiest. He threw only 10 pitches. He's thrown 53 on the game. Going into this inning, Torres had thrown 41. He's thrown 2 thus far for a total of 43. No great difference there.
Pitcher, if you can get a pitcher to throw about 15 pitches an inning, you come out. That would be an average.
Russell pulls it to Nettles. Pumps and throws and gets it. One gone, Reggie Smith will be the hitter. At a check swing, ground out to the third baseman Nettles. First time up tonight. The Dodgers are batting in the bottom of the third inning, with the Yankees leading by a score of 3-0. New York, 3 runs on 5 hits. Los Angeles, no runs, 2 hits, and an error. On the outside corner to Reggie Smith. They play him to full, they play him deep. Sharp shot, right field, that's through for a base hit for Reggie Smith. Base hit number 3 for Los Angeles. All the action has been to that side of the diamond so far tonight. Ron Cey now with 1 out.
These next 2 guys would like to put a little action on the left side out there about the 370 side.
They can do it, too.
They can do it.
Reggie Smith is swinging well. Good bat.
The Penguin at the plate. Strike.
A pretty good National League strike right there. That was down in the strike zone.
Been several of those. Stocky, strong Ron Cey underwent a testing program at the National Athletic Health Institute out in Inglewood, California. Inside.
Came in here one time to play the Dodgers. Keaton, his brother was out here. I think Ronnie, of course, is up from the Seattle area, isn't he?
Yes, went to Washington State University. I know that.
His brother was out here taking batting practice. They looked almost identical, facially, and their builds were almost identical.
Their body contains only 5% fat, so it's pretty hard and firm. And that's up the alley in right center as Rivers goes hard and makes the catch. Fine play by Mickey Rivers.
Rivers got a great
speed can be used.
Well, he got a great jump on that ball. Give him that. Touched it instantly and ran it down. Look at it again.
That's a great acquisition by Gabe Paul when he went to get Mickey Rivers. Look at this. Now, you take this ballpark. It's a big outfield, but you take that little guy and put him in Yankee Stadium, the size of that outfield, you've got to have a center fielder on a Yankee team that can really fly, cover a lot of ground.
He was in full stride as you even began your recital on the replay, Tom. Great jump.
Dodgers have stranded 4 in the 2 innings that we have played. Now here in the bottom of the third, Steve Garvey swings and misses at a breaking pitch, low and away, with Reggie Smith on first base. Torres, tough so far tonight. Garvey shot up the middle, and it almost knocked Torres down. Reggie Smith easy into third base. Garvey's on with a single.
What a shot. The ball started straight up the middle and suddenly veered slightly to the right. That's what deceived Willie Randall, as it went apparently right through or under his glove. That ball was hit.
That's the kind of ball that after it goes by, you lose your breath. You got that home plate to the pitcher's mound, 60 feet 6 inches. And after you get done throwing the ball, you're not much more than 50 feet away. And that ball's coming back at you, sometimes twice as hard as you throw it.
Dusty Baker with 2 on and 2 out. Right.
They got a big strike zone tonight, Dusty. Go up there swinging.
Reggie Smith on third, Steve Garvey on first. Yankees lead 3-0. Baker a grand slam in the playoff against the Phillies. Low at 30 homers. Got it in, I guess, next to the last at-bat for the season. He got his 30th homer, making Los Angeles the first team in history to have 4 men hit 30 or more home runs in the season. Baker 1 for 4 in the first game, 0 for 4 in the second game. Low. There's Smith at third. Garvey at first. Dodgers now have 4 hits off Big Mike Torres. Oh, beautiful breaking pitch, 2-2.
That was a beautiful pitch.
He's getting those NL calls. 95 miles an hour on that jug gun. That's close to your 98, Tom.
That was clocked about 4 years ago.
2-2. Outside. You've got a full count on Dusty Baker with Reggie Smith at third, Steve Garvey at first. Rick Monday waiting. Garvey goes. Oh, goodbye, goodbye. Way back, it is. Ball game is tied.
So Dusty Baker, the hero of the playoff games against Philadelphia, with a grand slammer and a second homer. Let's look at it again, Tom. Look at where that pitch is.
That was not a pitcher's pitch, right in the middle of the plate. I've given up enough of those. That ball jumped off the bat.
Watch Reggie Smith.
Reggie knows, too. He knows that ball's gone.
Yep.
You play in a park long enough, you just know when the hitter hits the ball when it's going to be out of the park. It's not over the fence yet. Wait a minute. He's looking for the plate. Looking for the plate. There it is. He knew it was gone as soon as he hit it.
We're all even at 3 as Mike Torres is stung by Dusty Baker for a 3-run homer, and Rick Monday is at the plate with 2 out. Both teams now with 5 hits. Cued foul to the left side.
You could almost sense it. They had left 2 on in the first. They had left 2 on in the second. And there was Torres facing a 2-on situation again in the third.
Strike 3 call. Larry McCoy, and Rick Monday is out. Second time he has struck out in the ball game. But the Los Angeles Dodgers on Dusty Baker's home run get even at 3-3 with the Yankees after 3 complete innings of play. The Razorbacks of Arkansas are going to try to have a party for the Longhorns of Texas in Fayetteville tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time over these ABC stations, followed by game number 4 of the 1977 World Series here at Dodger Stadium at 4 Eastern Time. Line score you saw. 3-5-0 for the Yankees, 3-5-1 for the Dodgers. Greg Nettles will lead it off for New York here in the top of the fourth. Bucky Dent and then Mike Torres. Tommy John, who has pitched well the last couple of innings, delivers and Nettles fouls it away. Yankees jumped on John for their 3 runs in the top of the first inning. Ball is stroked into right center field for a base hit by Greg Nettles. The Yankees with a leadoff man aboard. Now it'll be the Yankee shortstop, Bucky Dent.
Greg said had always hit Tommy John very well, and Tommy agreed with that. Tommy said he also had trouble with Reggie Jackson when he was in the American League.
Bucky Dent grounded out third to first. His first time up tonight. Nettles off first. John curves to the corner. Strike one.
Beautiful pitch.
I still don't think he's as loose as I've seen him. Ball's not popping. Tailing
Well,
off.
it was when he struck out Munson in the second inning. Then he was absolutely commanding.
Oh! Rainbowed that one enough on the corner, I guess, to get a strike. At least Larry McCoy called it a strike, and Bucky Dent steps away in his credulity tested.
It looks to me like you've got a big strike zone from up here, and then I look on the replays, etc.
Hit on the ground. In the hole, Slay knocks it down. There'll be no play. Base hit. Just a matter of an inch here, and Say would have had a play, but he came into the hole trying to cut it off and couldn't come up with it. Russell was in the hole waiting for it and might well have had a play himself, but not after Say had slowed it. You have a questioning look on your face, Mr. Siebert.
I don't know if he'd have gotten anybody on that.
No.
He might have had a, well,
Only if he could have made the fourth.
I wasn't watching the field, I was watching the monitor. It's tough to tell if you don't have your eyes on the field.
That's now 7 hits for the Yankees. They have 2 on with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Torres up. Bunt expected. And Steve Garvey in so close he could shake hands with him as Mike fouls it away. Elias Sosa gets up again in the Dodger bullpen.
We're right back in the situation where we were in the other night now. We've got runners at first and second, nobody out. They'll have Garvey coming in. We want to get the force out at third base. Torres' job is to get the ball bunted down towards Slade, pull him off the bag, get the runners advanced to third and second.
Bunted out in front. Yeager out in a hurry. Has to go to first base.
Well, he knew it. That's a good bunt. He did a good job.
One out now, and the runners move up with Nettles at third, Dent at second.
I talked to Mike Torres, who just made that bunt. You know, they have the designated hitter in the American League, and they don't hit all year long. About 3 weeks or a month before the end of the season, they started to take batting practice in preparation for all this. You know, knowing if they did get to the World Series that they would have to hit and they would have to bunt.
Mickey Rivers 2 for 2, a pair of doubles in the ball game. Yeager asks for an appeal at third base. Doesn't get the call from John McSherry. Charlie Huff has now joined Elias Sosa in the Dodger pen. 1 out. Runners at second and third for New York. And Rivers swings and misses. 1-1 on Mickey. Willie Randolph is on deck. Ball is hit on the ground to Davy Lopes. He'll go to first. Run scores. Yankees regain the lead 4-3. Run batted in for Mickey Rivers. So Bucky Dent now at third base. Greg Nettles scoring. You have 2 out. And the batter is Willie Randolph. Strike. Just low, ball one. 1-1. Outside, ball two.
Oh, a lot of sliders and curveballs here to Randolph. There's a sinker.
And it's foul. Evens the count at 2-2 with 2 out, and Dent at third.
That's what he was throwing to Rivers. Rivers successfully, as you used the phrase the other day, butcher boyed the ball.
Butcher boy the ball. He had runners at second and third.
Got him in.
Two guys, Russell and Lopes, have got to play back because you can't let an infield hit go through and score the run from second base. So you almost give up the run at third.
Right.
Larry McCoy out to check the ball again at the request of Willie Randolph.
That's that ball that goes into the dirt, gets red on it. They have kind of a really special red clay that they have around everywhere.
Just outside. Tommy John goes to a full count now with Randolph at 3-2, Dent at third. Nettles led off with a single. Dent followed with a single. Then Mickey Rivers bounced Nettles home. Here's a fly ball hit to right field for Reggie Smith. And he makes the catch. So the New York Yankees, on 2 base hits and a sacrifice, regained the lead over the Dodgers 4-3 after 3.5 innings. Sparky Lyle of the New York Yankees, who has appeared in 2 games already. You know, Larry Sherry in 1959 for the Los Angeles Dodgers appeared in 4 games, won 2 and saved 2 as the Dodgers won the series. Sparky Lyle might be able to come up with that sort of a performance himself before they're done.
All right, there you see the origin of the Dodgers. Baker acquired by trade from Atlanta, Monday by trade from the Cubs, Reggie Smith by trade from the Cardinals, Say and Russell from the Dodger farm system. Basically, the Dodgers build their team through their farm system. Basically. Here's the rest of them. Lopes, as you see, the Dodger farm system. Garvey, the same. Yeager, the same. Tommy John from the Chicago White Sox, where he was the most successful pitcher.
Steve Yeager, Tommy John, Davy Lopes, the scheduled hitters for Los Angeles. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike on the Dodger catcher.
The Dodger building processes have not changed ever since Branch Rickey first installed them, and then Mr. Waller O'Malley took over from him in the early 50s. There's a ball.
2-1 on Yeager. High pop-up. It'll go to short center field. Mickey Rivers comes jogging on in and makes the catch. Tom Lasorda from the third base side of Dodger Stadium. The Dodger skipper, and on the first base side, the Yankee boss man on the field, Billy Martin. And the batter is Tommy John.
Lasorda in pensive mood. Martin always somehow looks troubled.
Mentioned that Tommy came from the Chicago White Sox, 1971, for Richie Allen. That was the trade. Foul back here.
Richie Allen went over there, had a couple of good years for the White Sox, too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Most valuable player in that league.
I didn't think you were going to be able to get up from under the table.
Just sort of slipped once.
1 ball, 1 strike to John. Yankees leading 4-3. Dodgers came back on Baker's homer to tie in the bottom of the 3rd after the Yankees scored 3 in the top of the 1st. John swings and misses. And the Yankees come battling back to get 1 in the top of the 4th to lead 4-3 and 94 miles an hour on Mike Torres' last pitch.
Still throwing hard. He made that mistake pitch to Dusty.
2-2 now. That pitch low. One out, nobody on. Top of the order, Davy Lopes is waiting. 3-2. Mike mumbling a little on it. Wanted it was to get John. Didn't want to lose him.
Don't walk the pitcher. That's a cardinal sin. Don't walk the pitcher. 1 out. Second out of the inning, you can get Davy Lopes out of the inning, next hitter.
Struck him out.
He did not walk the pitcher. Davy Lopes will bat with no one on. That's Mike's 5th strikeout, by the way. We're in the 4th inning. Evidence that he's throwing hard.
On a warm night in Los Angeles, 78 degrees as we started, and I suspect it's still pretty close to that, perhaps 75 now. As we've gone to 6:46 Western time, Pacific time. Davy Lopes has walked and been thrown out at first base on a good play by Chambliss to Torres. That's strike 1 as he fouls it back. Lopes walked, stole a base, got to third in the first inning, and that's as far as he could go, and Torres comes inside. 1-1. Feet on the ground to the shortstop, Bucky Dent. Got him. So the Dodgers go in order in the bottom of the 4th inning. And after 4 complete innings of play, the Yankees lead the Dodgers 4-3. Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine, just a few minutes from downtown Los Angeles. Walter O'Malley built the stadium, owns the property. This year, they drew 2,955,037, I think it was. They averaged 37,000 per home game. It is one of the most comfortable baseball parks you can sit and watch, and they cater to the family trade at this ballpark, and obviously they do well, considering what they have done since they moved into this rather beautiful ballpark.
The Cincinnati Reds have made it a little bit closer race. There'd have been over 3 million people this
Yeah,
year, too.
Yep.
I thought you were going to win the pennant for it.
When you went over there, we were 7 behind, and within 2 weeks, we were 12 behind. It shows you what a difference one man can make.
Thurman Munson, Reggie Jackson, and Lou Piniella as Tommy John gets a strike on Munson.
By the way, through the first 4 innings, Torres threw 73 pitches, John 69. That's an average about 135, 140 pitches per game. A lot of pitches.
Outside. Thurman Munson went on public record today as if he had not done previously, but he re-emphasized or reiterated his desire to go to Cleveland. Bounced to Russell. Thurman digging it out down the line, made it close, but he's gone. 1 away. Tomorrow it's 4 Eastern time, 1 Pacific time, Sunday 4 Eastern time, and then games 6 and 7, if they are needed, will be Tuesday night in New York at 8 Eastern time and Wednesday night in New York at 8 Eastern time. Reggie Jackson has been to the plate twice. He is 1 for 2. Last time up, John struck him out. Inside.
I think they read the scouting report on Reggie, don't you? Everybody's popping him inside.
That's right. That's right.
Right there.
3 balls and no strikes with 1 out and nobody on. Walked him. So the Yankees keep pecking away. Tommy John getting Munson to lead the inning. Now walks Jackson. Lou Piniella comes up. Lou hit for the pitch and singled in 2 trips. Want to know how Lou Piniella relaxed today? His normal routine. Poke around at a stock brokerage house, watching the tickers, reads the Wall Street Journal and Barron's Weekly, and studies the ebb and flow of the fiscal posture of this country. Hopefully trying to make a bob or 2 now and then if he can guess right. All right, Reggie Jackson off first base. Tommy John ready to pitch to Lou Piniella. On the corner, strike 1. Yankees leading 4-3 on 7 hits.
Maybe Lou's going to try and figure out what to do with his World Series, Keith. You know, the winner's going to get right around $25,000 a man, probably.
Just low.
Well, as I read the sporting press, you fellas all have so much money, it doesn't really matter. Your comment, Tom?
What about our conversation at dinner last night, Howard? You're not doing too bad yourself, old boy.
Off Tommy John's glove, there will be no play. Couldn't come down with it, and if he had not been able to touch it at all, I suspect it would have bounced right on up the middle into center field. So it's a base hit for Lou Piniella. You see John reach for it, ricochets off his glove. Bill Russell had committed himself to his left and could not come back to make the play. And so now the Yankees have 2 men on, and Lou Piniella has his second base hit of the night. Here's Chris Chambliss, struck out and hit into a double play.
Now, this is the fellow the Yankees really need a hit from.
Strike. It appears that Chris has opened his stance somewhat. Normally quite a severely closed stance. Here now, and as he's struggling some, he might have opened just a little.
I spent about a half an hour, Keith, down the right field line yesterday talking to Mickey Rivers and Chambliss and Kenny Holtzman and a couple of the other Yankees. Chris feels he just has a very slow bat. He just has no pop in his bat, no life, and that's probably why he's opened up like this.
Outside.
Feels his bat is just dragging through the strike zone instead of popping into the strike zone.
You can feel it. You can sense it.
Well, he knows it too, and a lot of times you just get so physically tired as a hitter, there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe if he opens up, we'll see what happens here.
Pulls it sharp.
There it is.
There it is.
Base hit. Reggie Jackson will turn at third. Reggie Smith up with the ball. And the throw goes across to third as Reggie Jackson scores from second base, and the Yankees lead 5-3. So Lou Piniella made the turn at second and kept right on going and went in at third base. With 1 out, Chris Chambliss delivers a single to right and delivers a run. The Yankees with a couple of base hits in this inning, plus the walk to Reggie Jackson. Now Greg Nettles is up there. Nettles has grounded to second and singled and scored a run. The Yankees now have 9 hits off Tommy John. Elias Sosa is in the Dodger bullpen. And the pitch is off the plate. Ball 1.
Keith, that hit has to give Chris Chambliss some lift. Did the late Gil Hodges, when he managed you, ever tell you what they did for him in Brooklyn?
No.
John to Nettles, outside.
He had this long siege during the World Series. Never got a hit. The crowd responded with nothing but cheers for him. And in his local parish, they gave a prayer for Gil to get a hit.
Nettles swings through the pitch and misses. It's 2-1. Tom Lasorda prowling around the Dodger dugout. Billy Martin sitting across the way, looking anxious. The Yankees leading by 2, 5-3. Nettles fouls it away, and it's 2-2. Lou Piniella at third, Chris Chambliss at first. 1 run is in.
The Yankees showing the fans something tonight. Out of all the controversy, they broke from the barrier with 3 quickies. Dodgers tied it up. Seem to have momentum going their way, and now
Nettles strikes out. That's 2, and Bucky Dent will be the hitter.
Big out for Tommy John, but the point I was making now, they have rebuilt a 2-run lead. So they're showing something of their grit tonight.
Pitch is low to Bucky Dent. It's kind of different, though, to see the Yankees pecking away as Mike Torres walks out to the on-deck circle, scratching for the runs, getting them, but still squeezing them, scratching and clawing for them outside. The pitch to Dent, whereas the Dodgers have used the long ball.
Well, the Yankees, especially in this inning, the base on balls and then a ball off of Tommy John's glove. And Chris just did hit that ball in the hole. You'll see a lot of ground balls off of Tommy John.
It is low. It has 3 balls and no strikes now to Bucky Dent. And Sosa throwing with purpose now in the Dodger bullpen. Walked him. The bases are loaded. I suppose with the pitcher coming, Tommy figured he might try to tease Dent rather than give him a strike to hit. Tommy is now getting a visit from the manager, Tom Lasorda, with Mike Torres at the plate.
I don't think Tommy John wanted to give Dent anything there to hit. Not at all. You get a runner at third base, another hit. You're going to go down 6-3, and he knows he's got 2 outs with the pitcher coming up next. You know, he just has to bow his neck. Tommy Lasorda in that situation is go out there and give his pitcher a little bit of confidence. You know, tell him that he agrees with him possibly about walking and pitching around Bucky Dent. Go ahead and go bow your neck hard and go after this hitter. Get out of this inning with just 1 run.
Torres swings and misses for strike 1.
Quite a swing, wasn't it? A foot a minute.
But all he's got to do is get it on the ball, and if he bumps it out into beyond the infield, who knows? He's helped himself. How much? 1, maybe 2. Strike 2 called, as Mike said. Wait a minute. Big Rainbow caught the outside corner.
Torres didn't like the call at all.
Got him. So, the Yankees scratch away and get 1 more run and lead the Dodgers after 4.5, 5-3.
There's Yogi Berra in the Yankee dugout. Used to be my manager over the New York Mets. And Yogi's a grandfather today. Florence Francine Berra, wife of Larry's son. His son Larry, little girl, grandfather today.
Looking at Yogi, Don Newcomb came into the ballpark today and he said, "Hey, Howard, 30 years I've known you. Why did you say the other night that Yogi hit me every time I looked at him?" I said, "Well, what did he do?" He said, "Well, he owned me." I said, "Well, that's what I said."
Line score in the ball game. Yankees 3 in the first inning. Dodgers tied it up on Dusty Baker's home run bottom of the 3rd. Yankees scratched out a run in the 4th and again in the 5th. The Yankees lead 5-3 on 9 hits. And the Dodgers will come to the plate now. In the bottom of the 5th inning with Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, and Ron Cey. Steve Garvey would be the 4th man. Mike Torres pitching for New York. Russell beats it on the ground to Bucky Dent, who throws him out. Bill Russell is 0 for 3, going short to first as Bucky Dent made the play, and here comes Reggie Smith. Smith has singled and scored. One was on base. In fact, the lead runner when Baker hit the home run.
Wielding a good bat. Started to hit well. The Yankees in the Dodgers' victory over the Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Outside, ball 1.
Homer, double, not too bad.
The 3rd game of the 1977 World Series. 3 of them in a row at Dodger Stadium, then back to New York if they're needed. Yankees leading here 5-3 on a warm, summer-like evening.
He had the look of a fine player when he came up with the Red Sox originally, but had deep personal problems.
Inside. He got a little mad yesterday, ball 3, 3-0.
Boy.
A couple of reporters wanted to talk about his troubles in Boston some time back, and Reggie got a little hot over it.
He did, huh?
Don't blame him. All 4.
That was only about
10 years ago.
10 years ago is all.
Run.
Then he went to St. Louis. Did very well, did very poorly, got traded. Kind of a checkered career.
Ron Cey coming to the plate. This program an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Ron Cey, the Dodger cleanup hitter, 3rd baseman, walked and hit a fly ball to center field. Might have gone through, but for the speed of Mickey Rivers on the play. Reggie Smith off first, the pitch to Cey, checks and takes ball 1. Torres throwing hard.
Yeah, 93 miles an hour on that pitch. That's the remark I was about to make. Still buzzing the ball in there. Yep.
Ball 2.
Can't pitch behind. You get in the middle of this lineup against the Dodgers, Smith and Say and Garvey and Baker. You can't pitch behind. 4 straight pitches, walked Reggie Smith. 2-0 here. You can't give these good hitters that much of an advantage. They're too strong.
3 balls and no strikes.
He's doing it.
He got Bill Russell on a grounder to short, and now, having walked Reggie Smith and gone to 3-0 on Ron Say, that gets Billy Martin out of the dugout in a hurry, and it'll get some action in the Yankee bullpen, probably Dick Tidrow.
You know what a pitcher does here, Keith? A lot of times, get into problems. He knows he's behind a big hitter, a guy like a Say or a Garvey. He gets behind him 2-0. Then he knows he has to make that perfect pitch. He has to lay it on that corner. There's Tidrow in the Yankee bullpen getting loose. And as a result, you find a lot of pitchers they'll try and aim the ball, almost like they're throwing darts to home plate, and then they take so much off the ball and make such bad mistakes. You just can't pitch behind when you're on it.
And you must never aim the ball. That was the point Koufax always used to make, Tom. He said, what made me a great pitcher was I learned to just throw the ball and never try to aim it.
It's one of the biggest faults that a pitcher can have.
3-0 pitch to Ron Say, and the cripple is in. It's 3-1 with Steve Garvey waiting on deck, and then you'll have Busty Baker with 1 out and Reggie Smith on first base.
I guarantee if he gets that same pitch again, he'll be spinning. You watch those hips, they'll be spinning out of there.
He won't, but it's playable. High fly ball to left center, and Piniella comes across in front of Rivers to make the play. Reggie Smith back to first base. That's 2 out. Now it's Steve Garvey.
He's 1 for 2, and what a shot he hit. Right past Torres and right through Randolph. Nobody saw the thing.
He's done that to me a couple of times, Howard. It's not much fun.
He has great power right up the middle, doesn't he? He just sing you with it.
He's got good power in the alleys. He can pull the ball to left field, left center. He's got good power to right center. He's really strong.
In the first year of a 6-year contract with the Dodgers. Hits it sharply, but gets a big bounce for Greg Nettles, who throws it a little bit high, and he's safe. He beat it out. The ball went spinning into the air, and by the time it came down to Greg Nettles, Garvey had churned it out.
And here comes Dusty Baker. That was one of those balls that's so hard for the third baseman to play. Look out again. Try to make the judgment. You come in on it, you let it play you.
Well, he waited for that second bounce, and by that time, Garvey was there. And with 2 out and 2 on, the batter, as you said, is Mr. Baker. 2 for 2, a 3-run homer, and a single. Get on the ground to Nettles. Goes to second, and they get him. And so Mike Torres escapes as the Dodgers threaten, but can't break through, and it remains Yankees 5-3. Back with more after this word from our local station. The details on the 2 pitchers in tonight's ball game so far. And you can see the edge belongs to Mike Torres. On total pitches, he, however, has thrown the greater number, hasn't he?
No. Tommy
not.
John, 94 to 85.
So at one point, John had thrown 4 less pitches, and now he has thrown more, 94 to 85. Elias Sosa has been up and down in the Dodger bullpen now as Tommy John comes out to face the top of the Yankee order, Mickey Rivers, Willie Randolph, and Thurman Munson. And it's strike 1 to Mickey. Rivers with a pair of doubles and has rolled out to the second baseman. But that ground out got him an RBI. This time he taps it to Davy Lopes, and he's out. Now Willie Randolph, the Yankee second baseman.
Here, 3 for 9 in the series coming into this game. He's 0 for 2 with a base on balls in the second inning.
Defensive alignment gives him left center. That's where the gap in the outfield is. John is outside with the first pitch for ball 1. to the shortstop, Russell. Got him.
Now that's Tommy John. That's the way Tommy John pitches right there. Ground ball to the second baseman, a ground ball to the shortstop. He is one of the most frustrating pitchers you'd ever hit against in your entire life. He'll go through a game and have 20 ground outs. Infielders get their work. Against me, the outfielders get their work, running all over the outfield.
Remember the game you pitched against the Dodgers, 3-2 on Lopes, opening that back home run?
Opening the game right here in Dodger Stadium. Little guys get good power to right center field.
Those he can surprise you.
Thurman Munson, double, scored a run, struck out swinging, grounded out short to first. Swing and a miss on the sinker. The defensive gap in the outfield is also in left center for Munson, who has a tendency, unless he can pull the ball and knows he's going to take a shot at getting around on it, we'll just right it up the middle, sometimes to right center. One ball and two strikes now. 55,992 tonight's attendance. That is an all-time record at Dodger Stadium. As you look down on it from our camera aboard the helicopter. Munson swings and misses, striking out. And so Tommy John blows the Yankees away in the top of the sixth inning. 3 in a row, and it's 5-3 Yankees after 5.5. There's the story on tonight's attendance, 55,992. The previous crowd record had been 55,989. The Yankees in 2 games at Yankee Stadium with the Dodgers at 113,359. That's a total of 169,351 in 3 games.
And as you look at your screen, another quick reminder. The great Gruner died today, playing golf over in Spain. There'll be an ABC News special, Bing Crosby Memorial, a half hour in each time zone after all local news shows.
For the Dodgers, Rick Mundy, Steve Yeager, and Tommy John. The bottom third of the order. It's ball 1. Yankees have Mundy set up defensively straight away. 2 balls, no strikes.
Now, John has thrown 102 pitches through 6 innings. That'll come out to about 140 to 150.
If he can pitch 9 innings.
Right.
I'm sure he doesn't throw that many normally.
Torres is in the same general area, slightly below that last pitch at 93 miles an hour. What do you average? You're a strikeout pitcher.
High fly ball to left field. Vanilla backs up. Right on the edge of the warning track, makes the catch for out number 1.
Howard, a strikeout pitcher, is going to throw a few more pitches in the game. But Tommy's way above his average. I would say Tommy John average would be probably 100, 105, 110. I'll average anywhere from 125 to 135 pitches a game because of the, getting more strikeouts, throwing more pitches, obviously. Tommy's a ground ball pitcher. A lot of hitters hit the first pitch, ground ball to the second baseman, ground ball to the shortstop.
Steve Yeager at the plate now. We're waiting to see who might come out of the dugout. If it's Tommy John, it is. Or is it?
I think that's Ed Goodson.
It is Ed Goodson, yes. So Tommy John is going to leave us with Charlie Huff now in the Dodger bullpen. He's been there before with Elias Sosa. Pitch to Steve Yeager now. Foul tips it into the glove, and it's a count of 1-1 with Goodson on deck.
That's it, Goodson on deck. That Bing Crosby Memorial show tonight is a half an hour after the game. The Eastern and Central time zones. It's at 11:30 in the Pacific.
Yeager hits it up the middle, sinking liner, drops for a base hit. Base hit number 7 for the Dodgers off Mike Torres. With 1 out, Ed Goodson was in the on-deck circle. He has now gone back. And I believe it's Vic Davalillo, isn't it?
Yep.
So Vic Davalillo, who was such a dramatic personality in that big ball game in Philadelphia,
That was just a week ago today. It seems a century ago.
A manager will do that on the bench, Keith. He'll send somebody out. Say, all right, Goody. Tommy Lasorda will tell Ed Goodson, go out, get loose, get on bench. I mean, get on the index circle, you're going to hit. He says to Davalillo, says, you're going to hit if Yeager gets a base hit, so get yourself ready. So Davalillo was probably down, getting himself ready. There's Charlie Huff in the Dodger bullpen. He'll have two guys. He'll have one guy to hit with nobody on base. He'll have another hitter to hit if the hitter preceding them, like Yeager, gets the base hit, gets on first base.
Vic Davalillo, who was in the Mexican League and got a call when Rick Mundy was having trouble in center field. They needed him for insurance. He came up and he played well. Tommy John out of the ball game. Davalillo takes a strike. Yeager on first base. Edges off with one away. Yankees leading 5-3. Dodgers batting bottom of the sixth. 1-1.
They're really respecting Davalillo's ability to pull the ball. Chambliss, of course, back behind the runner, Yeager at first. They don't want to give him that big hole over there on the right side.
Randolph well over two. Gets it on the ground right at Willie Randolph. Shovels over to Dent for one. Over to first. No, safe. Throw pulled Chris Chambliss off the bag.
I'll tell you, that Randolph got rid of that ball beautifully. Watch the runner coming in now, the second in this replay, Tom.
Yeager's a big guy, a strong, muscular fella. He's going to go after the second baseman. That's a shortstop like he did, but that's a good clean slide. Looks like he hit with the spikes a little bit.
So Davalillo is alive on the fielder's choice as they fail to complete the double play with two out now. It's the top of the order for Davy Lopes in a 5-3 ball game, Yankees leading. And Charlie Huff expected to be the next Dodger pitcher. Dick Tidrow has been throwing in the Yankee pen. Lopes fouls it off for strike one. The Dodgers have had one big blow in the ball game. Three-run homer by Dusty Baker. Back at the bottom of the third. The Yankees have been pecking away. Double here, single there. Use the walk. Strike two on Davy Lopes.
93 miles an hour on that pitch. This is the fellow that Tom and I were talking about, with the occasional power that will surprise you.
Way ahead here, 0-2. Watch Thurman move around, give him a good sign.
Taps it to the pitcher. Torres throws him out, and the inning is over. And so after 6 complete innings of play at Dodger Stadium, the Yankees, 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. The Dodgers, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine, just a few minutes from downtown Los Angeles, glittering on a soft evening. As we look down on it from the camera aboard the helicopter, and in to pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers, knuckleballer Charlie Huff.
How many knuckleballers are there in the American League, Tom? Do you know?
I don't know. I think Keith knows. Keith did
Keith
more
knows.
big games in the American League
Well,
than I
Keith
did.
would tell you Dutch Leonard, Roger Wolf, Johnny Nicklin. All right, here's how the Yankees were structured. Pinella by way of trade from Kansas City. Mickey Rivers in the big trade Tom mentioned earlier from the Angels. Reggie Jackson, the free agent. Big money, a lot of controversy there. Greg Nettles, trade from Cleveland. Bucky Dent, trade, the White Sox. A lot of money involved there as Oscar Gamble went over. Willie Randolph, the unsung one, in a trade with the Bucks. Chambliss, trade with
Reggie
Cleveland.
Jackson.
Munson
Right field.
from the farm. And so you can see that this team was structured differently. They didn't come with farm origination through the long developmental process that the Dodgers employ. Gabe Paul restructured this team with key trades, including the acquisition of Mike Toss.
That guy with a funny hairdo must have a lot of money. He shows up everywhere. Curveball. Well, I'm not going to say curveball. That's that dancer, the knuckler from Charlie Huff that's liable to curve all over the joint. Steve Yeager boxing it around. It's strike one on Reggie Jackson. Wilbur Wood and an occasional knuckle curve from Steve Mingori of Kansas City are the only knucklers I can come up with in the American League, as Reggie Jackson finds out back in the crowd. So it is obvious the Yankees have not looked at very many knuckleballs this season, or last season. You can see how Steve Yeager has changed gloves now. He's gone for the oversized glove. Pillow is what it is.
Just bat at that ball as it comes up there.
Well, I looked at enough knuckle curves from Bert Hooton.
Different pitch, though. It doesn't dance around like this one. Huff started the ball game about a week before the end of the season, trying to get him straightened out. He was great for them in the early going first half of the year, tailed off and was rather ineffective in the second half of the season. Reggie fouls it back. It's 1-2. Now, we've been talking about 93, 94 miles an hour by Mike Torres.
Well, you hear this.
Charlie Huff will get it up there in a hefty 68 to 70, and on that last pitch, 73 miles an hour. But once in a while, we'll throw you a fastball, and he just struck out Reggie Jackson on a blazing 69-mile-an-hour fastball.
They are not much fun to hit against. Bill Necro in our league, the National League, probably has the best knuckleball in the business right now. He struck out 250 some odd batters in the National League this year.
And he can throw a week. He just keeps coming and stays out there, and good pitcher. We saw him once this season on Monday Night Baseball, and he had a heck of a ball game. 1 out. Yankees are leading 5-3.
I was
now,
kidding
Lou Piniella gets a look at the dancer.
I was kidding before, of course, Keith, but at one time, the then Washington Senators had 4 knuckles. Look at that.
Yeah. Where did it go? Yeah, they had, who was it? Goodness sakes. Marino Peretti was one of them, wasn't he? Marino Peretti.
They had Dutch Leonard, Roger Wolf, Johnny Niggling, people like that.
Yep. That one's low. 1-1. They line up on Piniella pretty much straight away in the outfield. Now 1-2. Lou spinning around in the batter's box. He worked in 13 of the Dodgers' first 20 games, had 3 wins and 6 saves in the early part of the year. High fly ball lifted into short left field for Bill Russell, the shortstop. Drifting back to make the catch. You've got 2 outs.
Keith, it's funny about Charlie Huff. He did have a super first half. You know, the Dodgers did jump out, won 22 of their first 26 ball games, and he was very instrumental in it. In the first half, he was super.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you know, he went bad. He soured, and they really started to get on him here. They were booing him badly. It was really some adventure.
Chris Chambliss up now. Fouls it back. Well, they were waiting for the next hitter to come up. Larry McCoy, the American League umpire, and Steve Yeager were standing there laughing and talking. Billy Martin doesn't think anything's funny with that knuckler dancing around out there. Only a 2-run lead. But it's probably the first time, I guess, that McCoy has seen a knuckler. Dodger dugout, Jerry Grody, catcher, and Tom Lasorda. Strike. Chris steps out. Oh, come on. Strike 2.
Couldn't hit it anyway.
That's right. Up the middle, Russell at the bag. Got to hurry. Got it. So Charlie Huff comes in with his dancing knuckleball and gets the Yankees in order in the top of the 7th. 5-3 New York. Defensive change now for the Yankees. Paul Blair is in right field, replacing Reggie Jackson.
Well, I wonder what's going through the manager's mind and Reggie's mind at this moment.
I think we'll have another outburst tomorrow. It's like Mary Hartman around here.
Soap opera every day, all year long. Look at that doubleheader tomorrow, Keith.
Undefeated Texas and Arkansas at 12:30 Eastern Time, followed by game number 4 in the World Series at 4 Eastern Time. Now for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Torres delivers a strike to Bill Russell, followed by Reggie Smith, then Ron Cey. Russell hitless in 3 trips in the game tonight. Short shot right at Greg Nettles. Oh, hit it on the nose, but Greg was right there.
Well, it proved out for Martin when he benched Jackson for defensive reasons in the final game against Kansas City. As Greg isolate on him. Let's see it again.
Well, it was hit pretty hard. It's not going to take very
Didn't
long for
have
that
to
replay.
move. Good work, Chester 40.
Here's Reggie Smith now for the Dodgers. Single, a walk, tap to Nettles. Inside, ball one. Preston Gomez at third, coaching for the Dodgers. Jim Gilliam at first. Fouled away.
Torres has given up 7 hits, 3 of them in the 3rd inning. In that inning, Reggie singled, Darby singled, and Dusty Baker hit the home run that tied the game at 3. Other than that, he's pitched effective.
Just low. It's 2-1 to Smith. Scheduled pitchers tomorrow: Ron Guidry, left-hander for the Yankees; Doug Rowell, left-hander for the Dodgers. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dodger change. Strike 2. Possibly Don Sutton, if the Yankees win the game tonight.
That's the it. Long way to go yet.
Lyle and Tidrow now in the New York bullpen. 2-2. Struck him out. So Mike Torres continues very effectively as he fans Reggie Smith, and now will pitch to Ron Cey.
6 strikeouts for Mike.
Billy Martin will watch him closely from here on. Cey checks, and it is foul. Bounces up in the crowd, and they boot it right back onto the field. Somebody scrambles out to get it. A little mistake here with this group. Cey, Garvey, Baker, they will lose it. High fly ball into relatively short center field for Mickey Rivers. And so Mike Torres continues to sail along as the Yankees lead the Dodgers after 7-5-3. Back with more baseball after this word from our local stations. Quickly recapping what has happened in the ball game. First inning, Yankees, Rivers a double, Munson a double, Jackson a single, Piniella a single. Yankees with the Dodger era 3-0. The Dodgers came back in the third. Smith single, Garvey single, Baker a home run to tie it 3-3. The Yankees came back in the fourth to pick up a run to go back ahead 4-3. They got another run in the 5th inning, and now they lead 5-3 with Charlie Huff on in relief of Tommy John, pitching to Greg Nettles, followed by Bucky Dent and Mike Torres. Tommy John, who started the ball game, and the book on John, sitting there with Don Sutton. Swing and a miss by Nettles. For strike 1, the book on Tommy. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 9 hits. He struck out 7, walked 3, and hit 1. Nettles fouls it off, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Charlie Huff, knuckleballer.
Not wasting any time with it. Every pitch right in there, flutters away from it. Who in your league hits the knuckleball well? You know, John?
I don't know of anybody who likes to hit off a knuckleball, Howard. Or who hits it exceptionally well. It's a very difficult pitch to hit.
The Brooklyn Dodgers once had a guy who did, Duke Snyder.
Count of 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Greg Nettles. Inside, it's full at 3-2. There was a time when it appeared this might be the first World Series in history where it would be played on artificial turf. Had it been Philadelphia, Kansas City, but didn't turn out that way. So the World Series in '77 being played on real grass in both ballparks.
It might get us no.
Pitches foul back here.
Almost had my first souvenir.
Munson and
Hi, Mom. Mike Torres saying hi to his mom with Thurman Munson.
Well, Mike was down signing autographing baseball. There's a knuckleball hit well to right. Reggie Smith one-hands it. Nice play. Sinking liner hit by Greg Nettles off the knuckler. Reached up around the eyes and didn't quite get enough of it. And Reggie Smith, coming in a hurry, reaches low and comes up with it.
Catch.
Now it is Bucky Dent. Strike. Ball is hit to left. Dusty Baker has to come, loses his cap, one hands it. 2 out.
Dusty got a slow start, Tom. Slightly misjudged the ball. Thought it was going further than it did, but came on in. That's how he lost his cap.
Except for this man coming to the plate now, Mike Torres, every other Yankee has been on base at least once tonight. Knuckler is stroked out into left center field and over in a hurry. Flag it down Monday. So the Yankees go in order in the top of the 8th inning, and they lead 5-3. Junior coaching at first base for the Dodgers.
He's been through a lot of these. He came up with the Dodgers in '53. He was Rookie of the Year. His job to supplant Jackie Robinson at second base. What shoes to fill. But he did it. Jackie moved over to third and helped Jim grow as a ball player. And through all of the years, he was an exceptional ball player.
They went down to Baltimore. Fresco Thompson, I think it was, and Spencer Harris went down to Baltimore to scout somebody else. And they had this little guy out there. They hit home runs, played second base, shortstop, third base. They got him for a $50 bus ticket.
Switch hitter.
For the Dodgers, in the bottom of the 8th inning, Steve Garvey, Dusty Baker, Rick Monday. Mike Garman is now up in the bullpen if they should have to hit for the pitcher. Garvey fouls it off. Strike one. Steve Garvey in the ball game tonight has singled twice and scored 1 run. So he's 2 for 3. Torres goes away from him, and it's 1-1. Tidrow and Lyle in the Yankee bullpen. You can see it's a warm night. So both pens are ready. Garvey swings. This is it's 1-2.
He is making some fine pitches. Billy Martin knows he's down in Sparky Lyle time. Bottom of the 8th inning. He does get in trouble.
Garvey hits it up the middle, fly ball. Mickey Rivers holds his ground and makes the catch. That's 1 out. Kind of interesting. Mike Torres today indicating that he might like to go pitch for the Red Sox, declaring he will go to the marketplace after the season's over. 1976, he had a 1-year contract at Oakland. He got away from Charlie Finley. He'd forgotten that Torres was a 6-year man and signed him for only 1, so Mike escaped.
His agent's been asking for $500,000. The Yankees have shelled out so much money already, they're not disposed to do that.
Dusty Baker takes low, ball 1.
Torres, by the way, has been very close to Reggie Jackson ever since he joined the Yankees and has been one of Jackson's prime supporters on the ball club.
That's on the corner. 1-1. Still up above 90 miles an hour. 93 on the Judge gun, that pitch.
Oh, boy.
1-2.
Not only is he bringing it up there at 93 miles an hour, he's making fine pitches on the corner. He's hit that outside corner on both Garvey and Baker.
That ball is fouled to the right side. It'll go back into the stands. It's pretty much a shirt sleeve crowd tonight in Los Angeles. 3 of Baker's hits, 11 at bat, 1 of them the home run. Counting for the 3 Dodger runs, that pitch bounces.
You can see Thurman back there. He's really being a general. Get the ball down. He's moving around, giving a good target behind home plate.
He
Telling the
told
pitcher
us
to get his arm up.
Tom, what I like about Munson is his directness and his honesty. He told us today, remember? He said, except for 2 hanging sliders, Catfish Hunter did not pitch badly. And he said, maybe it was my fault, he said. I was calling for too many non-fastballs because he had good velocity on his pitch. So maybe it was my fault, which is the kind of guy Munson is, which relates to your calling him a tough field general.
I really enjoyed the lunch with him today. Thurman and Howard, there's Billy Martin in his dugout with his bullpen at work down there behind the right fielder. I really enjoyed lunch with him today.
Count has gone full now on Dusty Baker. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The last 2 pitches by Torres have been in the dirt. And Yogi Berra on the phone, I'm sure, to the bullpen to find out if the folks are ready down there.
Not to the new granddaughter.
3-2 pitch, Baker. Strikes out.
Dusty doesn't know he's out. Look at this. Dusty doesn't know he's out. He can't believe it. Umpire did tell him out. It was a good pitch. He didn't hear the call, evidently. Now watch, right on the outside corner. Good pitch by Torres. He went all the way around.
All the way around. No
a big swing at it.
Who is he kidding? Trotting to first.
A little larceny in his mind, do you think?
Petty, not grand.
They don't really, at this point, for the home folks, ask how, but just how many. Wheedle one takes it, I guess. Rick Mundy, the batter. Mundy has struck out twice, once swinging, once looking, and hit a fly ball to left field. Ball 1 to him. He has a chiropractor with him practically every day. Help ease some of the pain. Bouncer to Chambliss, first base. He'll do it himself. And as Chambliss came over, his foot slipped off the bag, and Rick Mundy went down tumbling.
Chambliss quick to apologize to him. Mundy understands, and the smile evidences the fact.
Well, that was a mistake on the play at first base.
So Rick tumbles down. Now watch, Chris, his foot will slip across the bag. He just wanted to hit the inside part of it. You see that he lost the grip on the bag, and they tangled feet. Mundy went down, but he's all right. So the score continues after 8, 5-3 Yankees.
Bing died today. He was in Spain. He died on the golf course playing one of the games he loved. One of the most beloved of all Americans, an institution. ABC News will be doing a special called Bing Crosby a Memorial tonight, 1/2 hour after the game, following local news in Eastern, Central, and Mountain Time, and at 11:30 Pacific Time.
Top of the 9th inning, top of the order for the Yankees. Mickey Rivers, Willie Randolph, and Thurman Munson. And Rivers hits the knuckleball up the middle for a base hit. Takes a big turn at first and hangs on as Mundy brings it back in.
First guy to get to Huff. First guy, Tom. Mickey, 3 for 5 on the evening, had gone 0 for 10. So he's now 3 for 15 on the series.
Bing once had a piece of the Pittsburgh Pirates, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, an officer and director of the Pirates.
I don't think many people would know that.
Willie Randolph now for the Yankees.
As Bob Hope, another great sportsman, and of course, extremely dear friend of Bing's, is an owner in the Indians.
Thurman Munson in the on-deck circle. Top of the 9th inning. Yankees leading 5-3. Rivers off first. And Randolph shortening up. Billy Martin would like to have one more here.
You get one more run here going to the 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th, get ahead 6-3. Billy be in pretty good shape.
Dodgers have the bottom of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning.
A lot of things that Billy can do here. You know, he's got good speed at first. He's got good speed at home base. And Willie Randolph, he can bunt, he can hit and run, he can steal, he can fake a bunt. There's a lot of things that he can do in this situation.
And a knuckleballer on the mound. They call a strike on him. First base umpire Jerry Dale said yes. As Yeager asked for the appeal at first and got the call. He tried to bunt that ball.
Sure, he went after that. Sure. Sure he did. Nice work on the camera, guys.
1-1. The count on Willie Randolph.
I think they're going to get something going here. I think Billy's going to do something. He hasn't used his speed very much. I think he's going to try something.
Let's watch this closely and see if we can watch those fingers of Huff's as he throws that out.
Fouled that away and right into the glove of Steve Yeager. That big pillow Stever's got. And it's 1-2. When you've got a knuckler, the job of the catcher is so difficult. He's not only got to catch the thing first, then he's got to throw it, realizing the fact that it does not come to the plate all that swiftly, so the base runner conceivably could get a pretty decent jump on it. Lob over to first.
Knuckleball's a funny pitch. I don't really know where the terminology came from, but it's gripped by the fingertips, on the fingertips, the first two fingers of the right hand. You don't really put your knuckles into it.
A few years, you'll be trying it.
Little pop. Mundy's there in short center. Makes the catch. 1 out. Now it'll be Thurman Munson with Mickey Rivers on first base. In the top of the ninth inning, and New York leading 5-3, trying to take a 2-1 lead in the series. They split in Yankee Stadium. They play 3 here, then go back to Yankee Stadium for the final 2 if needed.
I think you're going to see something. Still think you're going to see something, Keith. Thurman is a very good hit-and-run man. You still got a knuckleball pitcher on the mound. Good speed at first base. Big hole on the right side. Lopes is way over to the right.
Not yet. Knuckler bends Thurman away a little bit. Steve Yeager goes to the mound. There was another little piece of baseball news drifting around Southern California today. Former Dodger executive Buzzy Bavasi, who has been down at San Diego, a conversation that Buzzy might be brought into the Angels organization.
He can help any team. I don't know what happened at San Diego, but there is no better, quote, no better executive in baseball in my book than Buzzy Bavasi.
On that last pitch, Yeager called for a pitch out, didn't get it. So that's why he went to the mound to get his sign straightened out.
Hey, Charlie.
He says, when I jump out there, I want the ball out there in case that runner's going.
Buzzy was part and parcel of the development of the Dodgers and their maintenance of excellence through all of the years. He's another of those, reared by Mr. Rickey.
There it is.
Threw it out that time.
Well, now we got our sign straight. We got to get the Yankees to cooperate, though.
2 balls, no strikes on Thurman Munson.
This is a good situation to do something here, if you go by the books.
If you go by the books.
Thurman, very good back control.
He's the guy, this is the pitch, he'll want to hit right through that hole into right, as you suggested.
2-0. Outside. 3-0.
Not when it's thrown that way.
Tom Lasorda. The evening hasn't been pleasant, has it, Thomas? Not since the first inning, as a matter of fact, except for a brief moment in the bottom of the third. Strike call. 3-1 now. Instead around talking to Larry McCoy as you see Paul Blair on deck.
You want to put yourself in a World Series position and be a pitcher and know your fastball is about 68 miles an hour and you're 3-1 on Thurman Munson?
The second, safe. So Billy finally turned him loose, and he's sitting on second. Got a good jump.
That man right there can run with the best of them. He told me yesterday he's going to try to do a little run and show these people out here. Of course, he played out here in Southern California. Show him again what he can do.
Took 2 quick looks at the pitch and the batter.
He did. I'm surprised he looked. Sometimes will rob you of a bit of foot speed if you start looking around. But he made it. 3-2 now on Thurman Munson. And the ball is fouled away back in the crowd. 1 out with Rivers sitting at second base. 5-3, the way Mike Torres has been pitching, is tough enough. If you're anticipating comeback, 6-3 would be a wall. Thurman fouls Etman off.
3-2, and a knuckleball is not that easy to throw for a strike. Well, he's in a position. He's got first base open. There's no way he can give in and throw a fastball here. Not to the hitter that all the Dodgers really think is the best hitter on the Yankee team. He's got to go with a knuckleball.
And he got him.
It was. That's the third time Thurman has struck out tonight. I don't think you'll see that very often. You can see Huss Knuckles up on top of that ball, his fingers up on top, and look at that thing dive.
Oh,
Thurman's way out in front.
Yeager caught it right on his shoe top.
That ball started out about letter high, ended up down on his shoes.
He's retired 8 of the 9 Yankees that he has faced. Now he pitches to Paul Blair. Mickey Rivers the only man to reach on him, and Mickey is now out of second base, having stolen the base, with 2 out outside.
That fella's had a couple of big hits in the last 2 games the Yankees have won, hasn't he?
It's come through so unfailingly, you half expect him to do it again.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's foul back in the crowd.
Keith and I saw him play his first Major League game together. It was at Fenway Park, Boston. He went against Bill Monbouquet opening day. Ripped a home run over the left field screen and then a double. Looked like a great young ball player.
Swing and a miss on Knuckle. It's 1-2. I remember one time he made one of the all-time great catches at Baltimore, too. He's literally climbed up on top of the wall to haul one down. 1965.
Right. That's the year he broke in.
1-2 to Paul Blair. You notice that Paul has gone well up the bat handle now to shorten his stroke. And it's 2-2. As that pitch was well off the mark. See, he's well up the bat handle.
The beaning took a lot out of Paul. Diminished his abilities. But he's still here. And what a fine year he's had.
Fouled off. Bottom third of the order comes up for the Dodgers. It'll be Steve Yeager, the catcher, then the pitcher, and I'm sure we'll have a pinch hitter. Then we'll go back to the top of the order to Davy Lopes, and Lopes is still to get a base hit in the World Series. Crowd of 55,992 in all-time Dodger Stadium record. Lashes it. Nice. Defensive play of the night.
Wow. That's what you call a major league play. That's super. Here's Mickey Rivers down there. What's this? He'll say number 10. One step, boom, line drive. You're out. That's a great play.
Once again, Blair hit the ball and hit it well.
And so, we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning with the New York Yankees leading the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-3. Back after this message and a word from our local station. One more look at that fine defensive play at third base by Ron Say. Paul Blair had stung the knuckler on the nose. Say, leaving his feet, gripped it as he rolled to the ground. And so we come to the bottom of the 9th inning with the Yankees leading the Dodgers 5-3. Steve Yeager, then Manny Mota is in the on-deck circle, then the top of the order. Check swing roller to Greg Nettles at third. An excuse me swing, and there's one out.
And Manny Mota comes up. Manny Mota on the record as the second best pinch hitter in history. And I remember the best in history on the record. Forrest Smokey Burton. Do you remember him, Tommy?
Before my time, but I remember watching him on
He's
TV.
He's a roly-poly
sure.
little guy, a catcher, with the Reds and then with the Bucks. And he could get out of bed at 3 in the morning, take one swing, and face it.
Matty Mota's up now, and Mike Torres hits the outside corner with a fastball for strike one. Big Mike just 2 outs away from a complete game and a victory in the World Series. Low, ball one. He has been a dominant figure. He made the one mistake to Dusty Baker, cost him 3 runs. Other than that, he has been plenty tough. Strike 2.
Well, the LA fans don't like it either, do they? They've got one of their heroes up there in Mota.
Strike 3.
He didn't waste any time with Mota. Pitching strongly, confidently.
Close. Second base.
Mike Torres now will pitch to Davy Lopes.
It's something that happens in the middle of a ball game or during ball games, Keith, between a pitcher and a catcher. They really get on the same wavelength once in a while, and I just have that feeling here tonight that Thurman and Torres have really gotten together. They just work superbly. Torres has understood everything that Thurman wants him to do, and most of the time he's done it.
Strike. Well, he's challenging the Dodgers here as Tom Lasorda looks on in the dugout on the third base side, and Billy Martin anxious on the first base side, and it's quickly 2 strikes on Davy Lopes.
Well, his heart is pumping, I can tell you that. That's an excited pitcher on the mound. He wants it. Look at that face. He wants it.
Oh,
Thurman thought he had it. Did you see that little jump?
Mike has had the season-high strikeout effort tonight with 8. Got him! Mike Torres goes the distance. And he beats the Dodgers 5-3.
So the Yankees take a 2-1 game lead in the series. The Yankees come out of all of the controversy and all of the storm and all of the emotional chaos of yesterday, and they win a very, very big one. And on top of that, as we pointed out at the very start of the game, coincidence or not, Mickey Rivers came out of it. He got 3 hits. He led off the game with a fluke double down the right field foul line. Quickly, the Yankees sped to 3 runs, and from then on in, Mike Torres took over, the dominant figure. Keith?
5-3 final.